Hi, how are you today? The improved package has arrived. We're having it fitted in time for FP1. Have a look at the factory report.
What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we are here for the Belgian Grand Prix. And if you did miss yesterday's episode guys, for the Hungarian Grand Prix, then I do urge you to go check it out in the top right hand card of your screen on the card annotation. Also a link down below in the description, because it was a bit of a late upload, so some of you guys might have missed it with the sub boxes, so I do urge you to go check that one out before coming back to this race. But here for Belgium, like I said, and this is the one where obviously we've got to try and balance out our power unit issues, and also, you know, we are sort of trying to like mix up these power units to make sure that they're all on sync and we're all pretty much in order going into the next few races, because obviously spiral bonds are critical and we have to basically make sure we have the best possible power unit for each race. So as you can see, we're just coming back away for the practice programs, and we are struggling because we are using power unit 2, which is the most raw one that we have, and I'll show you in a minute the exact level of weight. It's in the bottom right corner of the screen, but it is pretty damn worn, and as you can see right now, it's all running around the 80% mark, and I tried to do the qualifying performance test, but I was like 7/10 off, absolutely nowhere near hitting the target. And I also gave the race strategy an attempt to see if I could pull something out of the bag, but I was pushing that hard that I actually made a little mistake coming out this right hand here at Malmedy. I get on the curb too much and then go straight into the wall, and that's the end of my practice 1 session. So a bit of a scruffy way to kick off the weekend, and because of that, I should have to take make a few changes, and also set up changes, and also decide to take the plunge and switch over to another power unit. So we switched over to power unit 4. The reason I'm doing this is because obviously we haven't used this one yet, so I'll put a couple of kilometers of wear on it, but at least that way we can now switch between all 4 power units if necessary and not get any grid penalties. So hopefully that will help us out in the long run for the remainder of the season. That way we can now switch engines whenever necessary, because that was pretty much a needed switch. As you can see now, on the second time of asking, we actually smashed the qualifying performance test by 7/10, and also the race strategy was absolutely perfect, no issues there whatsoever, and we're also going to get a purple score there. So making up for lost time and making up for lost ground in practice 1 and practice 2 here, recovering all the lost R&D points that we could have gotten early on in the weekend. So overall, a solid session and a good recovery from that initial FP1 issues. And we're now going to move into Saturday qualifying, and we're going to be running the same power unit. But as you can see, it is wet conditions. So what I'm going to do is to sort of keep the power unit life, you know, to I wouldn't say to like a minimal, but you know, just to keep it alright. I'm not going to run the max fuel mixture, also because it's wet, so we don't really need to really push the car to the limit. So in Q1, I was actually running the engine on standard mix to try and, you know, bring the car in nicely, take it easy. No need to really push that hard, because I was doing okay for pace. And we go P5 there on my first lap in the session. Not a great lap in terms of the gap to P1. We lost a lot of time, and luckily we just scraped through in 14th place there. But almost a nasty surprise to just taking over too casually in standard. But then moving into Q2, we switched up to rich mixture, and this was a much better lap actually. The pace is much better all round on this lap, and as you see, Raikkonen goes fastest, as does Hamilton now. So lap time's tumbling here towards the end of the session, but we're going to come across the line here and a pretty competitive lap time actually, good enough for P7, so that's not too bad, and that will see us through into the final part of qualifying into Q3. So overall, a pretty good way to sort of, you know, balance up the engine performance, and that way keep the wear sort of in one piece. But overall, that lap in Q2 will see us get through in P7, like I said, and ahead of our teammate Esteban Ocon actually, as we now move into Q3 and the critical session. So we're going to run on board now for the entirety of this lap. Now into turn 1, obviously La Source tricky corner, just after 100 meter board, try and brake. I lock up quite severely and running very deep into the apex, and basically get a much better exit. However, thanks to the alternate line I took through there, obviously in the wet conditions you can get away with not running the race line as long as you can recover nicely. But now going through Eau Rouge, I can't quite keep it flat out. I missed my apex through Eau Rouge, and I rode a bit too wide, and then through Radion I get a little bit slippy and squirmish on the curbs there. So a bit of a scruffy start to the lap, and not the ideal scenario. I'm running the max engine mode now, so we are pushing to the maximum, and we are 6/10 up in the first sector, but that is a sector where I've been strong all weekend anyway, so I'm not particularly I won't say impressed, but it's very normal that I go faster through the first sector. The question is, can we hold it together through the second and third? So let's try and pull this up together now. Going through turn 8 Rivage, very nice line through there, getting a good exit, avoiding the curb on the left hand side, and now through turn 9, nice line through there, keeping the car nicely tucked up in one piece, using all the track available, and so far so good as we now go down the hill into Pouin, turn number 10, tricky corner here. I run a little bit too wide onto the curb, lose the back and have to catch it, a little bit of counter steer there, and that's going to cost me a couple of tenths of a second as we now go into the Fagnes chicane, 5th gear, then down to 4th. I missed my apex slightly, just trying to bring the nose back into recovery for late apex, and then flicking it left for the second part of said Fagnes chicane, and now into Stavlo 1, 4th gear corner, possibly 3rd. I prefer 4th gear. Use all the track available, using all of the curb, a little bit outside of the white lines to be fair. And then we get a massive tank step on the exit. I'm just going to lose the back end. I'm going to go straight into the wall. And that is the end of our qualifying, going straight into the wall. And our second crash of the weekend. So we're really struggling at the moment, and we're sort of having a bit of a scruffy weekend so far. Not one that normally happens, but just a bit of a one-off so far in this career mode. Not something you see too often, but as you can see, Ocon got 7th place and Vettel leads the way in 1st. But because of that, it sort of got me thinking. I was thinking to myself, if I'm going to start from P10, I may as well take an engine penalty, because obviously we're going to have a free choice of tyres anyway because of the wet Q2, so there's literally nothing to gain from us starting in 10th place compared to starting in last, because strategy wise everyone's going to be neutralised due to the tyres. So I thought, you know what, it's a good chance for us to take a new engine and a new gearbox, and that should hopefully see us through until the end of the season. Also, I'm going to buy a durability upgrade to try and tidy us over on the engine wear until the end of the season. Hopefully that'll be the durability done now for the end of this season. We can now focus on raw performance and chase after that championship, but for now we're going to focus on Spa, and we're going to jump now into the race on Sunday for the Belgian Grand Prix. Right, so we're here on the grid for Belgium, round number 12 of the season, and it's last place, so basically a last question mark challenge for today's race. And obviously strategy wise, we're going to start on the soft compound tyres and switch over to super softs. Strategy wise, we're going to overfuel a little bit by 0.5, and hopefully that will see us through to the end of the race. But I'm looking forward to this race. Fingers crossed if it all goes well. I want to try and crack into the top 6. I want to do some damage limitation and just basically not allow Raikkonen to really gain too many points on me, because there is a chance he could overtake me again in this race and retake the lead in the championship. So we've got to try and keep Raikkonen at bay. He starts from 1st place, I believe, and we're starting from the back of the grid. So we've got our work cut out, but I like my strategy chances, even though my reasoning for changing the engine obviously was a lack of strategy from P10. We've got the same issue here from P20, but at least from here we have a fresh engine and we've got basically nothing to lose. We can just basically really squeeze maximum performance out of this engine. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a race where we just basically throw the kitchen sink at it, and I'm looking forward to it. But Spa is my favourite track, and we've done a few minor setup tweaks which should hopefully help our car. So I'm looking forward to it. So we're just going to jump straight into the race now and see how this last question mark challenge goes. So let's jump straight into the race. Right then, here we are then. Let's go up to the 5 red lights. Let's try and have a good start. Lots of people on soft compound tyres from what I can see. So we're going to be having a few people on similar strategy options as me, as Massa gets off to an absolutely fantastic start, as does Marcus Ericsson here into turn 1. Let's try and pick up an inside line. We're going to get very tight on the apex here. So many cars going 4 abreast here. So we've just got to try and find a little pocket of space. And there we go. We've got past a handful of cars up into 16th place. And now, hopefully, the AI sort of just tripping themselves up going through a rouge, and we can get a huge run on these guys. So here we go. Going to get a nice run through there, again a super incredible slipstream and a mega tow all the way down this Camel straight here. And look at the speed we've got with this brand new power unit here. We're not going to get enough, I don't think, into the brake zone, but we are going to get bloody close. And actually, oh, woo, that was very close there with Lance Stroll. I was not expecting that, but very nice reactions there, evasive action taken, and we've had a really good move there on Lance Stroll. Also Massa from 19th up into 12th, incredible start from the now confirmed to be retiring in the season Brazilian in real life. So very good start there from Felipe, but let's see what our pace is like on this tyre. Like I said, there's loads of people on this tyre just like us, so we're going to have to pass them basically on raw pace because they're going to be on the same strategy. So we've got to work out, so the gloves are off. Let's have a little bit of fun, and let's get some overtaking on the go. Right, let's put this power unit to the test then. Let's see what our straight line speed is like. We've got a few AI cars holding themselves up through Blanchimont. We've got a huge run on Jolyon Palmer. I'm just going to pick up the inside line, and also can I get Grosjean on the brake? I'm going to take it very easy. I'm not going to go for any rash moves because obviously we need this tyre to last, and I can't come in for an early stop because that's going to ruin my strategy and put me on an automatic 2-stop unless I go into mediums, which is going to make me very severely underpaced. So we need to basically not lose any front wing with these tyres, which is absolutely critical. So there we go. We've got past Jolyon Palmer. Now let's try and race past Romain Grosjean here. I'm looking forward to this. I can really see the straight line speed difference we're gaining on him as we go and approach Rouge. We're going to take a bit of a wide line to scrub off some speed here. Can I force my way on the outside of Grosjean? A little bit of argy-bargy there, just trying to force my way through, but we've got past Grosjean, no problems. And now we're up at the P13 behind Felipe Massa. And now we've got Magnussen making moves up ahead here. So these guys are all battling out on track. So we've got the chance, if we play our cards right, to get past a couple of these guys here. Magnussen's just gone clean around the outside of Daniel Kvyat there. So fair play to him, good move. I've run it a little bit wide there. Just having a brief flashback to Friday practice where I absolutely just put in the wall out there. But so far, we're off to a good start here. And the pace feels good already. Right, Massa's got held up behind Kvyat here, and you can notice the power the power unit difference and just the overall speed of the powertrain as Massa's getting close to Kvyat. I'm going to go up the inside of the pair of them here into the bus stop chicane. A little bit of wheel banging with the Russian, and he's going to hold the inside line. I'm just going to basically set behind him for now. I'm not going to jump into any rash moves, and we're going to wait for a little bit of slipstream here and make the move into turn 1 instead, much more comfortably on the brakes. And there we go. He's giving me a little bit of a pinch to the inside is Kvyat, but still, we've made the move and we're up into 11th place now. So making solid progress here, making our way to the points, and Kevin Magnussen on Super Soft Compound Tyres is up next. So let's try and hunt down the Dane. Right, personal best 49.7. We've got a slow moving Red Bull up ahead who's sort of causing this little train of cars here. So I think that Red Bull, I can't tell if it's Verstappen or Ricciardo, but they've got some sort of issue here and it's causing a massive pile up of cars. But we're going to just double shift here to lose a little bit of momentum because we're a little bit too close to Kevin Magnussen. To go through a Rouge here, we're just going to be sitting on his gearbox basically, and now pull over to the left hand side. He's going to try and make the move with Nico Hulkenberg here, so this could get pretty tasty. Hulkenberg's got DRS unboxed in. I want to go to the left hand side, and there we go. Nice little double overtake. Let's just try and outbrake Nico into Late Kuma, and there we go. Nice double overtake up into P9, and it's Verstappen who's got the issues up ahead. So there we go. We're now into the points, and very good progress so far. Very efficient overtaking, not wasting any time. It's actually both Red Bulls in here. Ricciardo's also in here. I think Ricciardo actually might be the one with issues. Ocon's trying to overtake him here, and this is for P5, and they're going side by side up ahead. Incredible action here between the two Red Bulls and my teammate, and looks like I'm going to join the party here, and also we've got signs for close company just behind, but Ocon has gone clean around the outside of Ricciardo to pull on. Fair play, absolutely brilliant move, and my teammate has now overtaken the Red Bull, so we can now latch onto the back of this train and hopefully make a few moves. I mean, I think Sainz could be pretty easy bait if we get close enough out of this corner, because obviously that Toro Rosso is not the fastest in a straight line with the Renault power unit, and he's also on soft compound tyres like me, so really interesting to see. I think the majority of cars have gone for soft compound tyres here, so I just wonder if maybe Raikkonen's gone for supers hopefully or something like that. Hopefully, I'm not saying I can race him, but it would be nice if he's got a different strategy, just so we've got a chance. But meanwhile, huge run on Carlos Sainz here. He's going to go on the brakes and I've locked up the right front almost into the back of Verstappen there. That could have been very nasty, but we've made the move on Sainz. He's still on my inside, side by side action here at the bus stop. DRS now wide open. I've got the brand new power unit and I've got the fresh engine power, and there we go. We just pull in front of Carlos Sainz and make the move for P8, and now we're behind Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo. Meanwhile, Ocon's actually pulling away, so myself and Ocon, I think, now getting the move on and getting the hurry up, and so far so good. If we get past Verstappen, which I think we will, because I've got a huge amount of momentum going for a Rouge here. I'm just going to swing back and cut back underneath him, and there we go. Nice and easy. Open up the DRS now when it comes available, and we're up into P7, and Ricciardo's going to be the man who's next. Right now, we're flying around this race circuit, as is Ocon now, who's starting to pull away already from Ricciardo as we set a purple first sector. So we're setting this track alight at the moment, and the Pink Panthers are they're on a tear at the moment. Right, so far pace is still good, 49 dead. Ocon's caught up to one of the Ferraris. I think it's Sebastian Vettel. Yeah, Vettel's got a possible issue here, so Vettel's slowing down, and Ocon all over the back wing. I'm going to presume he's going to pass him now through a Rouge. Meanwhile, Verstappen's actually keeping up with me here, also because of the DRS. He's just sort of keeping within range, but I can't catch Ricciardo because he's DRSing Ocon. It's like I'm in a bit of a non-DRS sandwich at the moment, which is slightly frustrating. But meanwhile, I think Ocon's about to pull off a move on Sebastian Vettel here as he pulls to the inside on the four-time world champion. And I think he's going to try and get past the Ferrari man. As meanwhile, we're just pushing on here as hard as we can. And Ocon's absolutely mugged Vettel off and done him. So Ocon up into 4th place, making moves, and Vettel slips down to P5. And Ricciardo now all over his tail. Oh wow, Ricciardo's going for the move into Pouron. Fair play to you, mate. Fair play. Seb's lost the back end. I'm going to go around the outside. There we go. Lovely stuff. Ricciardo with an absolute daredevil of a move into Pouron there. Never seen AR do that. Vettel going for a skate midway through Pouron there and catching the back end. So fair play to him. But that's us up into P6 now. And we've now got free game to try and chase down Ricciardo, as he's not within DRS of Ocon, I don't think. So we can try maybe get a little bit of slipstream and try and catch him up as fast as we can. Another personal best, 48.8. But these guys are actually really picking up the pace now and stretching the pack a little bit here. I don't know what the pace is like compared to the front runners, but this pace feels pretty damn good. I think I'm within DRS of Ricciardo here, so I might have a shot if I unleash the rich mix, which I'm going to deploy now, going up the hill to give me that extra bit of horsepower, and then I wait for the DRS to become available. I'm definitely within DRS this time on Ricciardo. I'm going to keep it in rich mix. Look at the speed difference here. DRS wide open with a brand new power unit. It's absolutely ridiculous. Ricciardo goes defensive. I'm going to pull to the left hand side. Can I get him on the brakes? Ricciardo's still there, to be fair to him. He's going to hold it in. I'm just going to go around the outside, and there we go. Fantastic. Actually, no, Ricciardo's still there. Oh wow, he's just put his nose in last second, unexpected to me, but Ricciardo's holding it, to be fair to him, being stubborn with the move. He's made the move and he's actually held on to P5, so fair play to him. Very good defensive driving, and I thought I had the move wrapped up, to be fair, but we all know how good Ricciardo is on the brakes into heavy brake zones, so fair play to him. He held that one very nicely on the inside into Leikun. Was not expecting that one bit, so we're going to have to try again, unfortunately. Right, here we go then, down the hill, out of turn 1, going down to Eau Rouge. I'm not going to use the rich mix this time, as I'm pretty damn close to Ricciardo, so I don't want to ruin my momentum, and I don't want to encounter him midway through Eau Rouge / Malmedy. So here we go. This is a much nicer opportunity to get the run on him, and hopefully this time, will he go defensive? Yes, he is. He's going to go defensive again, so I'm just going to opt for the outside line. I'm going to squeeze him a little bit, and there we go. Just take an early apex, and that's the move done and dusted this time, making it count up into P5. Up next, Esteban Ocon on the same tyre as me, so I might have to switch up my strategy on the fly to undercut Ocon and also make sure we don't pit on the same lap, so I might pit next lap. Okay, so to effectively undercut Ocon, I'm going to need a very effective in-lap and out-lap, so I'm going to pit this lap for supers. We're going to crank up to rich mix, I'm going to push very hard this lap, and let's try and make up that gap this lap on the in-lap, and also come in very efficient pit entry and exit, and then push on the out-lap as hard as we can. So here we go, let's crack on with this lap. Right, here we go then. Going to prepare ourselves for our first stop of the race, so let's pull into the pit lane and try and be very good at this. Nice solid entry there. Now let's push until the limiter, push as much as we can and get it all slowed down. There we go, that was a very solid pit entry. Now we just got a nice quick switch over to supers. I think we should be okay for tyre life. We might struggle in the last 1 or 2 laps, but if it means we get the undercut on Esteban, then I'm all for it. So let's hopefully make this work. 2.2, solid stop. Could have been maybe 2 seconds, maybe underneath 2. That's happened before, but I'm not going to complain. 2.2 is not too bad. I just want to try and come out of this little gap of cars that we just got on the track right now, and that way we'll be in good clean air. So here we go, getting the power on straight away here. We're going to be racing with Lance Stroll on the pit exit. We're just going to pull in front of him, use the rich mix straight away, and just floor it basically, and let's hope that he's not that fast. I mean, it is a Williams, so I don't know what I'm saying that for, but hopefully with rich mix we can defend. If we just pull to one side, he won't be that fast. So let's see. The eyes wide open with Lance Stroll, and he's not that fast, to be fair. Exactly what I was hoping for. The brand new power unit and rich mix is pulling me through here. So there we go. We've managed to stay ahead of Stroll. Critical that we made that move stick, and now we've got to basically push on these tyres now and get past Palmer like a hot knife through butter also. Alright, here we go, out of Stavolo 2, all over the back of Jolyon Palmer. Ocon I don't think hasn't pit yet because I've not had the teammate pitting message, so this is going to give me an extra lap and an extra opportunity to hammer in a little bit more lap time and try and make up that gap. So there we go, we've got past Jolyon Palmer. Now we've got to try and get past Felipe Massa. Hopefully some of these guys in front pit. If not, then we're going to have to pass them all on track. But I mean, Jolyon Palmer's fairly easy pickings. Hopefully these guys are also, I think everyone's staying out for one more lap here. So let's try and get past Felipe fairly swiftly. Right, through Rouge, nice run on Felipe. Perfect place to pass him here. DRS wide open, pull to the right hand side. And there we go, perfectly easy move. And there we go, Sebastian Vettel up next. Well, I'm picking up a huge slipstream off of Vettel and Hulkenberg here. Ocon is now in the pit lane. So here we go. Through Blancpain, we've got to try and time this to perfection. Let's get on the left-hand side because that's the better place to be. We're going to get boxed in behind Hulkenberg here, but these guys are going to come into the pit lane. So we've got to try and get on their good side. And there we go. Nice move, critical positioning. And we got past the pair of them there. DRS wide open. Now we've got to race Esteban Ocon to the pit exit. Fast up of the Grand Prix into turn 1. Have we done enough here? Taking a little bit deep into the corner there. Ocon's going to be on the right hand side, but I think we've done it. And yes, we have. There's Ocon. We've just come in front, and that undercut was absolutely perfect. We pushed so hard, and it's benefited, and we've managed to get the rewards from it. So there we go, up into a net 4th place, and that is an incredible recovery drive, if I do say so myself. And there could be another twist in the tail here. There's maybe a safety car because there's still plenty of laps to go. So plenty of opportunities to maybe catch the top 3 if there's a safety car here. If not, then I think P4 is probably the best we can do. But I'm going to continue on here, burning off this rich mix until we run out to try and get a second gap to Ocon. I've got the run on Carlos Sainz here, so we're just going to go for the move on the brakes. I've got the tyres and the grip. He's going to come into the pit lane anyway, so I want to just get clearing before he gets alongside me. But here we go, DRS from that, so perfect timing. We are now out of rich mix, so we're going to have to try and basically defend from Ocon, I think, with standard mix. I think Ocon's got the pace from what I can tell early on, so we've got our work cut out to defend from our teammate and have the spoils within the team to be the #1 driver. So this is going to be a battle for supremacy within the same team garage, I think. Alright, here comes Ocon. He's got DRS wide open here. We're going to go defensive to the inside. He's not going to commit to any sort of move just yet, so we're going to hold on for now. But Ocon is looking racy, and DRS is basically keeping him also within our reach. But it's going to be a forcing the battle here for 4th place. Ocon this time is really close to me here, and he's going to try and make the move this time. I think this time we're going to really have to try and defend hard here. Ocon's still going to commit to the inside. It's going to be a good old squeeze, but he's going to commit to the move anyway. I'm going to leave him in the room as he's my teammate. I'm going to go around the outside of Lecum and hold on to the position for now. But Ocon definitely giving me the old hurry up, and I'm trying my hardest to defend, but he is bloody quick. Once again, here comes Esteban Ocon. I'm going to pull over to the right hand side slowly, but Ocon still trying here. He just doesn't seem to have the legs at the end of the straight to really make the move. This time he's sort of side by side me, and he's actually going to try and go for around the outside move. He's still on my inside. I've got to leave him in the room. He's all just sort of giving me a bit of a barge there, but Ocon holding the position here. I'm going to go around the outside of turn 8. Is there enough grip on this part of the racetrack? I'm not sure. I'm going to slice back underneath him. Can I get him? Not quite. I think Ocon might have made the move here. I'm going to stick with him because he's my teammate. It's not like a Mercedes or a Ferrari. I think I've got the pace to stick with him. Obviously my tyre's in a little bit worse condition than his, but I think I can still repass him if I'm good enough. Oh, Daniel Ricciardo out of the race, so that's one guy out, that's one Red Bull down. I think at the moment Ocon's just a little bit too quick for me. I'm going to need to drop a little bit of pace for me to have any chance of catching him because he's just pushing too hard. I've got a feeling he's in rich mix because he's flying on the straights and I've got a fresh power unit in my car, so I think he's definitely cranked up the engine a bit, but you never know, it's never till it's over, but we've got our work out to really get past him here. Okay, this could be the one here. I've got a little bit of fuel saved up. I'm in rich mix. I feel like Ocon's now dropped down to standard because the pace is sort of evened out a bit, so I'm going to try and have a pop here. I'm sort of gaining on him already. DRS now wide open. Can I get enough by the end of the straight? I'm giving it the full beans here. Can we have a crack at Esteban by the end of the straight? Not quite, but we are getting close again and getting back on top for pace, so we might have one last shot at this next lap, I think. Right, on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. Can we do it? I've gone into rich mix as soon as I can, this time much earlier than last lap. We've got to try and straight line this as much as possible and try and gain maximum time on Esteban Ocon here. I feel like I'm not as close as last lap here, so we're going to need a miracle. Although I'm gaining a lot more in the straight this time. Ocon goes defensive here. We're going to go to the outside. A little bit of a squeeze here. Ocon sort of changing his line on the braking. Have we got enough tyres left? That's the question. His tyres are 3 laps newer than mine. I'm going to try and switch back underneath him here. Out of, Malmedy there. Just the back end stepping out at me. Can we have another look somewhere on Ocon? I don't think I can. I'm going to have to sit behind him for now. The car is wearing out. The tyres are wearing out. But we're still trying here. I might have a chance maybe into the bus stop if I'm close enough, but this is going to be a long stretch. Right, to the back straight, I'm going to use all the rich mix I have left. Hamilton wins the Belgian Grand Prix. We're just picking up a toe here off of my teammate. Let's see how long we can make this last. I don't think I'm getting close enough. I'm trying my hardest, but I'm running very marginal for fuel. I'm going to have a look on the brakes. Can we ever go into the final corner here? I'm going to lock up quite severely, and I just can't quite do it. And Ocon, I think, is going to bring it home in P4. So, you know what? Fair play to him. He can take that. He deserves that. I'm going to come across the line in P5. And from last place in the grid, that's not too bad. I said I wanted a top 6. So, I think I'll take that. That's a pretty good result in the end. I'm not too disappointed with that, to be fair. And overall, a very good race. Really enjoyed the race, that one. That was a real challenge. And also, you know, just pushing to the limit every single lap. And fighting through the field. And making some very good, clean and efficient overtaking. But, I'm a little bit tired, to be fair, after that one. That was, in many ways, a bit of a draining one. But anyway, that race is off the books now, and I'm happy with the recovery that we did that race weekend. And I still think that the podium would have been out of reach, even if we started P10. So P4 probably would have been the best we could have done. So in that regard, I think we probably did a good decision, starting from the back of the grid, taking the engine penalty. So yeah, we're now going to move into the final race results. Right, so looking at the final race results, Lewis Hamilton wins the Belgian Grand Prix and takes another race win for Mercedes, so we'll be very happy with that one. And Raikkonen manages P2 and Bottas rounds off the podium. Sebastian Vettel, the man who started from pole, down in P7 with Ocon in P4, myself in P5, so very solid double points finish for us in Force India. Then Max Verstappen, the leading Red Bull, in P6 with Kevin Magnussen and Romain Grosjean both scoring points for Haas there in 8th and 9th, and Hulkenberg rounding out the points scoring positions. Obviously Ricciardo retired from the race late on, and that was basically the game changer for Red Bull, and them losing quite a few points this race. But in terms of the driver standings after that race, we still hold the lead by 9 points over Kimi Raikkonen and Sebastian Vettel. 37 points adrift at the moment, and he's still waiting in the wings. Also Hamilton with that race win now, only 59 points behind, so he's gained a few points. And at the moment it's looking like a 4-horse race if Lewis finds a bit of form. Mercedes do seem to be finding a bit of pace from what I can feel. Like, I feel like they're starting to build a bit of momentum. Also Ocon now solidly holding P6 now, so I think, you know, the Mercedes could be a team to watch out for. I feel like they're starting to get a few upgrades together, and I feel like their pace is on the up. and Ferrari do extend the lead in the constructors, and Mercedes are now closer to us than what we are to Ferrari. So maybe we might have the eyes on the back of our head instead of the eyes in front of our head when it comes to the constructors. But we're now going to move into the laptop and see how things shape up after that race. Right, so looking at the laptop quickly, have a little bit of a sort of a summary after that race. You can see that Raikkonen is beating us in the rivalry, and unfortunately we haven't even maxed out Slider yet, so obviously the reputation is down slightly. In terms of the upgrades, obviously you can see now a clear pattern with a very equal midfield, and the top 4 teams, they're looking very, very close for pace. And because we've now done basically the reliability, I'm now planning to try and bring this a major engine upgrade, this one here, which should boost us and make us the best team in terms of engine performance. So once we bring that one, we can then focus to go back on both the chassis, which we're 4th best, and also back onto the aero, which we're actually 4th best, but we're much lower down the pecking order than in the chassis. So I might even go to aero first. So I might try and plan to bring this upgrade here, and also the one that I just mentioned before for the engine department, to try and upgrade our pace all round. But in terms of other things, obviously this race we took our 5th power unit just, you know, as a precaution, and we've basically got 3 semi-fresh power units, pretty much brand new sort of for the remainder of the season, which we should have no issues with. So the only concern now this season is the gearbox, which is going to be basically getting the 6 races out of that. So I may purchase a gearbox upgrade just to make sure we get the length out on those. But apart from that, guys, that's going to wrap things up for this episode of Career Mode and for this really, really entertaining race and enjoyable race at Spain. If you guys did enjoy, then slap a like on the video. Let's try and smash 250 likes on this episode of Career Mode, guys. Also, subscribe to my channel if you're new around here, and also do check out the videos on screen right now if you have missed them. And also check out GTA Mega and the links down below in the description, and use the code TOM97 for a 5% discount at checkout. But other than that, guys, thanks all for watching, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.